Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back with our BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by the CEO of the BKFC UK, Mr. Andy Bakewell. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Do you like Andy? Do you prefer Andrew? I know it's like Andrew Bakewell, Andy Bakewell. Like your friends, like
I have friends call me Andy.
great.
Anything to do with
The beginning of last year, Dave was a little critical of some of your matchmaking. Since
it.
then, you seem to have really taken that to heart, and you are honestly, I wish the United States would put on the cards like you do. You're really striving for even matchups. A lot of your fights are now like pick them. You don't know who's going to win. Versus like sometimes it's like a pretty odd mismatch. Like did you take that to heart, or like if you like it was something that you've always wanted to do is kind of put on more fair fights?
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, the shows that have really looked bad on our side of things have been down to, say, we planned an event in London, then for one reason or another, it's been moved to Milton Keynes. So then all the agreements I've made with some of the fighters, they couldn't do over in the new location. So we lost a lot of the fight. Just chopping and changing here and there. Then you're rolling the dice with fighters. They've never fought bare knuckle before. And even when you look at them when I was looking at them on paper, I was thinking they were going to be good, but then it just weren't right for what we were looking for, man. And it just looked terrible. Some
When we talked to, I try to do my best to interview UK fighters. Every one of them always says, I want to make a name for myself in the UK, but I want to come to the States. Is it
yeah,
kind of hard? It feels like you're kind of a stepping stone, but like, do you want to also try to retain these fighters, or you're just, you want to put on the best product possible?
we want to build up the fighters, and it's great if we see our lads going over to America or big fights in Europe, like Franco Tenaglia, Danny Christie, Rico Franco. Um, it's all the fighters in the UK want to fight overseas. As a fighter, they've got ambitions to go and do those things. So I'm more than happy to help them do that.
One thing that I would love to see BKFC do, like on the website, they have the top five, but I would love if we could do like the European top five or the UK. I would because so many times it's like you got a guy like Jono, he's like, oh, I'm the number one, but like
Mm.
you don't see anywhere that he's ranked number one. You're just taking him at his word. Like I would love to see BKFC and you guys incorporate and get more of the UK guys like their own rankings, or at least like know where they stand.
Yeah, it'd be good if we get our own official rankings done. It's just not something we've been sort of asked to do. I think we're getting to that stage now where the fighters have had enough fights. We've whittled out the ones we don't want to work with, and the guys have big enough records to sort of put together the top fives over here. I think the European scene is going to take it's going to take a bit of time just to build that stable of fighters as well, just regular with them.
How do you decide if someone fights for a European belt versus a UK belt?
Usually, if they're not from the UK.
I,
It
I
depends. It's like David Oscar made sense because he's a Polish guy whose record was quite good. That fight between Aggie Fulton was the top heavyweight in the division at the time, or still is. It made sense.
I know at one point Jono was kind of talking about Dan Chapman, who's from the UK but trains down there in Spain. So it's one of those like do you do UK? Do you do European if they were to meet? Like it's like one of those you don't know.
Yeah, you'd probably do a UK belt. Oh no, yeah, you do the UK belt for them too. Um, I don't think that's a fight I was looking at immediately. Anyway, I think it's something John will strive to get to in the future. But
To be fair, anytime I talk to Jono, all he wants to do is fight everybody. I want to fight Gary Fox. I want to fight Duran. I want to fight Kai. Like that guy wants to fight everybody.
no, John is one of them guys who's just grafted away in the background. He's taken some hits on his purses just to get on the shows where the right fights were for him. He's kept as active as possible. He's got a great attitude, just sells himself well online. So we've got a big opportunity coming up for John soon.
Okay, so talking about that, Jono is very adamant. He keeps posting online. I want to fight in Manchester. Is that a fight you guys are looking to put on?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, we have got plans afoot to release that hopefully next week at some point.
Going to like it seems like Newcastle is like your home away from home, basically. Like you do the great shows there, everything's great. How difficult is it to go to new locations? Like I talked to Connor Tierney yesterday. He wants to go to Birmingham. Like everybody wants one in their own little home city. How difficult it is to
Yeah, I
spread it
mean,
out?
the issue we've got, we'd love to do one in Birmingham. We just don't have the time frame to get the suitable venues booked in. We don't have enough notice. Just the suitable venues are booked a year in advance. We get 3 or 4 months notice. So we're kind of left with whatever's available. And obviously we have to work around the BKFC schedule, his own schedule. There's just a lot of factors that play into it. Obviously we'd love to do the venues that Connor's talking about and all the fighters want to be in. But, you know, it makes sense on our end as well, but if they're not available with the time frame we've got to work with, they're just not available.
How difficult is it to, without giving too much away, like, I mean, are you already working 2 and 3 events down the road? I mean, it sounds like you've got... Go ahead.
I'm planning for shows in October now. I'm always at least 2-3 shows ahead. Just trying to get all the right fighters secured, so when we know, like, I kind of know roughly when we're going to be doing events and roughly where we're going to be doing them. So I'm trying to always get the best guys from them areas secured plenty in advance.
How much time would you like between events? You know, you got this show coming up in February. Like when can we expect to see the next one? Is it you kind of got to delay it a little bit?
For the next shows, very quick. To be fair, I think there's going to be 7 weeks between the two events. Usually, we're looking at about 3 months between shows, which is ideal if we can get them released with 12 weeks. Planning sort of to promote the event, that would be ideal. We don't always get that. I mean, it's always difficult. It's difficult for David to give us the amount of time we need. He's got a lot going on, which I understand. But yeah, we do the best job possible with the time we get.
Your last card, Conor McGregor, came in out of nowhere. Was that planned ahead of time? Did you know he was coming? Like, did he just show up?
Yeah, we were told he was most likely going to be turning up. Yeah, but there was just all chaos when he turned up, wasn't it? No, it was great to see him at the show. It was a big thing for the UK shows to have him sort of show his face.
I was at his first fight when he came over to see Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold, and when he walked in, to hear the crowd like just erupt, but to see him like drinking a beer with Ben Bonner and stuff like that, like it's just insane.
No, it's great. He's just a really good person. He's a perfect person to have sort of as the face of the company, isn't it? He's the biggest superstars in the world. It's just crazy because I got into bare knuckle around the same time David did years ago. We were doing them in like abandoned car parks, abandoned mills, and because we couldn't get venues, and we've seen the sport develop over the last 9 years. To see people like David Conor McGregor turn up at events is crazy, you know.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming fight. I'm going to go ahead and screen share this real quick. You guys are putting on a big fight. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We got the first fight of the night, Tommy Stridham versus, is it John Spencer?
Yeah, John Spencer, yeah.
Tommy's my guy. So, like, I mean, I'm rooting for him. I've cornered him before. He's in South Africa right now. This fight kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I mean, anything to say about it, or just...
No, I mean, David wanted to get him out. I think he wanted to get him a run out, so he asked us to put him on. John Spencer's a lot better than people give him credit for, to be honest with you. He used to fight for a company called BKB years ago before he turned as a sort of a pro boxing journeyman. His record doesn't look great, mate, but he always turns up to fight. He's tough, and he gets stuck in. He can box as well, and I think he'll be itching to make up for his performance last time.
Okay, the next fight we got. Are these guys brothers, the Combis? Oh,
yeah, they are brothers, Eleanor and Brandon Combi, yeah.
Okay, both guys making their debut. Is there any, like, how do you find these guys? Do they apply? Are you, like, do you have a matchmaker who kind of, like, watches other fights? Like,
no, it's me who does all that. I'm either reaching out to guys or people are reaching out to me. Then we have a look at them, see how experienced they are, what they're like when they're actually getting. Try and find out as much detail as possible. It's difficult. You've got to see them. I like to see them kind of how to deal with when they're hurt in gloved fights, because it's difficult to see how they're going to adapt in bare knuckle, because at some point they're going to get hurt, and the last thing we want to see people do is quitting in there, you know.
Now, you guys did tryouts. Do we have anybody from your... I know you did tryouts with James Lillian and Connor. Like, is anybody from the tryouts, or it's all...
Yeah, but Pick Jardine is originally from the tryouts.
Right.
Yeah, there's Pick Jardine. The best two fighters we've had from the tryouts at the minute are Pick Jardine, and we've got Stevie Taylor, who's due to fight on the Manchester card when we've finally get it moving.
Okay. And then Walker, how do you say that? Saluki?
We're looking at that. I can't see the button.
Walker versus Sulecki. Saluki. He's a scary looking guy.
Yeah, he is, mate. I know John well. John actually used to come sparring with me down at my gym. He's a big, solid lad. He's competed on Gronda, he's quite experienced in bare knuckle, to be fair. I think he's had about 6 fights now. James Walker, he was quite a good unlicensed and amateur boxer. James, he trains up with Andy Davison and Big Mick in Newcastle. That should be a great fight. So, like, James is quite a good, solid boxer, and Jan is just a big, solid Polish lad who's going to turn up to fight, mate, which is always a good clash of styles.
Awesome. All right, then we got, what do we got? We got Cahoon versus Wilkinson.
Yeah, Wilkinson got brought in literally a couple of days ago. His original opponent, Klados, seriously hurt his leg. He had a car crash in Athens when he was out. It was one of his fighters out over there. Lee Cahoon, he's quite an experienced boxer, MMA fighter. Wilkinson, who's come in as well, he's probably had about 20 unlicensed boxing fights. It looks quite good on paper. They're both really keen to get involved. And Wilkinson's about 6'4". He's going to be hard to deal with. Cahoon's just a very, very tough lad.
Awesome. We got Hutchinson versus Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. He fought on John Luke Nevin as a hybrid boxing show. He beat Liam Wilson on that. He's quite impressive, to be fair. He's just a very tough Scouse lad. Quite excited to see him. The weight on that's not correct either. It's 75 kilos, so 165 pounds. That fight's matched.
Okay.
Hutchinson trains over with Bradley Taylor. Is it Jordan Williams? His coach. They all speak really highly of him. For what I've seen, he's a very good boxer, big tough lad. So I think that's going to be one to watch. To be fair, that fight. I think they're both two guys to look out for.
Okay, and then we got the other brother. I think it's cool that you have brothers on the card.
Yeah, do you know what? There was supposed to be 3 of them originally. One of them couldn't make the date, but they were all the really good, experienced fighting family. All of them are I think Brandon's very experienced amateur boxer, unlicensed boxer. Against Carmichael. Ryan Carmichael fought originally down on the Crystal Palace show, was it? Remember that year, a couple of years ago?
Right.
Yeah, he trains with Connor T and his coach Simon. Simon Haydock. He's a very good boxer, to be fair. That should be a very good good technical boxing fight, to be honest with you.
All right. Then we got Garside versus Kanabi.
Yeah. Garside, really good MMA fighter. I think he trains over with Paul Cook and them boys up in Newcastle. Bartek Kanabi, he's fought twice for us. I think he's 2-0. Is it 2-0 3 times for us?
It says 2-1.
Yeah, Bartek's a good tough lad. He got really stuck in the last fight he had. I think he got stopped in the second round, but it was a really good tough fight. Garside's going to be making his debut. But everyone's excited about Garside, to be honest with you. I've heard some very good things about him. Awesome.
All right, then Ferguson versus Lister.
Yeah, John, everyone knows who John is. He's always involved in it. He'll be there to the end, most likely, John. He's a top lad, a really good character, John. Good guy to have on board. Joe Lister, he's like a really exciting young fighter to come out of the Yorkshire area. He was training over with Neil Wayne. I think he's now training with Dex Spellman. Everyone's really, really excited about him coming through. He's only 19 years old or something. He's a really good young prospect.
All right. Dickinson versus Gregory.
Yeah, that's a good fight to look out for as well. I think Dickinson was actually beating Martin Jack. Is it Martin Jack who fights on BYB now? He was beating him till he got stopped with a cut a couple of years back in a bare knuckle fight. He was a really good ex-pro boxer, really good tough man. Gregory beat recently Jack Draper on another event. He's been over to Clan FC a few times fighting. He'll come out of the stocks fast. He'll turn up to fight Gregory, but Dickinson's really experienced, big tough guy. It'll definitely be exciting to watch.
Cool. All right, then Cook versus Grogan.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should really know Paul Cook now. He's been in some great fights. I think he was a very close fight against him and Luke Beamish last time out. He's very tough, good. I think he beat Luke Nevin as well, didn't he? Against Grogan's first fight with us. He's a good fighter though. I think he's training over with David Oscar's sort of camp. Jason Curtis over in Accrington. I think he had a couple of fights on BKB a few years ago. He's really good, tough lad, to be honest with you. That should be a good 5-round fight, to be honest.
All right, Lewis Keane versus McCarthy.
Yeah, another great fight, to be honest with you. McCarthy's was really impressive in his debut. That was one of the best fights of the night down in was it Coventry Card a bit back? Yeah, who did he fight now? Alec Connolly fought, didn't he? Lewis Keane, obviously he got knocked out heavily last time. I think he's going to be looking to try and make amends for that. It'll be interesting to see how he sort of bounces back from it, to be honest with you. So it should be a great fight. Another one, really good, two equally matched level
When
guys.
someone suffers a massive KO like Lewis did, how important is it to get him back in the ring, to get him not gun shy again like that?
Yeah, massively, to be honest with you, mate. But I mean, I think it can take lads' confidence out of them a bit sometimes. But I mean, it's a crazy sport. It's like
Yeah.
it happened to Big Mick the other week. You know, you one shot, like one clean shot, you're done.
Right.
It's going to happen if you're fighting competitively against good level guys regularly. You're gonna get clipped at some point.
Sure. All right. Pick Jardine versus Shields.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is potentially fighting the night, to be honest with you. They've both got crazy styles. Jardine was really impressive against Bakewell. He's a really good character. Got a massive future at BKFC. Against Tony Shields. Tony Shields is very, very tough. He's got a very unorthodox style. He's been massively impressive, and he's 3-0 with another company. It will be very interesting to watch that, to be honest with you.
Okay, and then your championship bout, Thompson versus Boardman.
Yeah, I mean, both guys are undefeated at the minute, aren't they? I think Rob's about 6 fights bare knuckle undefeated at the minute. Thompson's with 3-0 with us. Boardman's, is it 2-0 with us now?
I think so.
That's a great fight, to be honest. They're both very good, very tough, fit lads. I think we've got an excellent fight on our hands there.
I know Carl's been like calling out Kamosi and calling out everybody in the United States at 205. Like he wants to beat Rob, but then he's one of those guys too that wants to come to the States.
Fair, man, whoever comes through this fight deserves good opportunities, and I genuinely think that either of them two lads there will give any cruiserweight about a good run for the money, because they've gone on the radar a bit, but they're really good fighters, very good. Fundamentals, good footwork, unorthodox, tough,
When you're building a card, do you build like you say like, okay, we're going to Newcastle, so I want to feature guys up there, or do you say like, hey, I want to feature Thompson and Boardman, and let's build a card around them?
No, we've got to build it around the fighters available based around them areas. And obviously the main events have got to make sense. Using them guys, so we've got to. Yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but I think we've done a good job there. To be honest with you, it was originally going to be a prospect card, so we're using quite a lot of new fighters. But then when we were the fight between Thompson and Boardman, with Boardman being on the south coast, it didn't really make sense doing that fight anywhere. We were never going to be going to where Boardman is based, so it was better to do it up in Newcastle, where at least it's near Thompson. So that fight needed to happen sooner or later anyway. So we then built sort of. It got moved to a fight night event.
You have guys like James Lilly and now we're seeing, Hannah Rankin and, from Scotland. At what point do we see a Wales card, or what point do we see like a Northern Ireland card or a Scottish card?
Yeah, the thing, to be fair, we have got plans afoot for doing one of them countries, at least one of them countries this year. I can't really give too much information about it, but I am planning it. I've already got some great names taken for that event. Like I said, I'm planning up until October, so I've got guys penciled in for at least 2 shows after the next 3 shows I've been building for the last 3 months. Really, I'm on it pretty much every day, trying to get the right guys in.
BKFC does some cool behind the scenes stuff. One thing I would love to see is like, you say you're going to this new country. I would love to see like kind of like the behind the scenes, like the work that goes into it. Like, okay, we're going to this country, and I want to see what Andy has to deal with, because like, we heard Spain almost didn't happen because of behind the scenes stuff. And I would just love to see like the hurdles you have to jump through, and you offer a fight, like so many times you hear fighters say like, oh, no one wants to fight me. But then you talk to the managers and they're like, oh, several people were offered and they didn't want any of them. You know what I mean? Like just the behind the scenes shit.
In all fairness, man, I've never really come across a fighter that nobody wants to fight. I've come across a few that don't want to fight people.
That's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, just, I mean, in all fairness, mate, it's not necessarily always the fighters that are trying to avoid people. Managers try and get involved. They think they know best, and I mean, all I'm looking to do at the end of the day, mate, is put on the best fights possible. I'm not really. If you get to the top of the food chain with us, it's because you deserve to be there.
Your guys' heavyweight title from the last fight was probably one of the best rounds of bare knuckle ever. It ended in controversy. Did you think it was controversial? Or, I mean, when he hit him after the bell and he didn't give him a chance to recover, like, did you find it at all controversial or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, looking back, yeah, he got clearly hit after the bell. He got hit. Then there was the ref should have jumped in between it. The two guys. Aggie didn't do it maliciously. I don't think. Aggie's a pretty cool guy, to be honest with you. He's just two big blokes in the middle of a crazy fight like that. It was the ref's job to jump in between. But again, the ref's doing a tough job. I think it would possibly deserve a rematch, but I mean that is something we have to kind of try and get over the line with. I think David might have to try and reach out and try and get that fixed.
No, and I talked to Aggie and I told him, I said, I don't think you did it maliciously either, but I said, it was a clear foul. And I don't know that it changed the outcome of the fight. I mean, David was really fucked up.
Realistically, I don't think the fight would have changed anyway. I think the fight would have ended the same way. Personally, I mean, that's no disrespect to anyone.
Sure.
But yeah, the fight was ended illegally. There's no two ways about it. If David would have stayed down, he would have won the fight by technically because of the illegal blow. But because he got up and wasn't told to do otherwise, he tried coming back out. That's what lost him the fight.
Sure.
So, I mean, on that grounds, I would say it deserved a rematch. But whether it happens or not is, it's a bit up in the air at the minute. Not really making much progress.
So Sean Wheelock has been doing these referee and bare knuckle referee and judges courses. He did one in the States. I guess he's doing one in Canada. He said his goal is to do one in the UK. So hopefully that'll happen sometime.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, to be honest with you, because the sport over here is like going phenomenal, to be honest with you, just from all levels. There's a couple of quite big shows underneath BKFC over here. Then you've got loads of little ones, that BK Wars, YouTube Wars. There's a few others. I mean, to forget any if we have. But yeah, it's growing on all levels. And if we can try and get Sean over here and get everybody working off the same rule setting, that'd be amazing. Because I know a lot of the companies over here are going off the rule setting. A lot of them using sort of circular shapes, cages or rings. Now going for I think BKFC is the golden sort of rule going forward with it all.
Everybody loves BKFC merch. I'm looking at you in that awesome top. Is there any point that we see like the ability for the American fans to get some of the cool stuff that you guys have in Europe and in UK?
Yeah, I mean, you can order it all through the if you go onto the BKFC UK Instagram page, there's the UK shops on there.
Okay.
Yeah, but if anybody ever wants anything, send it over. Just hit that link and they'll fix you up.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, that's all I got time for you tonight. Is there anything you want to promote or push before we call it a night?
No, we're just looking forward to February 8th. Hope everyone can get down. It's going to be an amazing show. We've got some great fights on there. If you want to get tickets, go on to the BKFC social media pages. The links are on there.
All right. And then it sounds like Manchester's getting close, so I can't wait for you guys to announce that one.
Hopefully I'll have some news in the next few days and we can have another little chat about that because I know that is going to be an amazing card. I've got some huge people coming over for that, so
awesome. Well, thanks so much. Have a great night.
Yeah, thanks for your time, mate. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.